morning, everybody. Welcome to the Senate District 49 Town Hall meeting. Today we'll have some time to hear some answers from our legislators to your questions. I just want to note very briefly, I know this won't be a problem, but just want to remind everybody that although these issues bring up very strong feelings one way or the other, just to remain respectful of one another and refrain from interrupting each other as we go through the question and answer portion. Just a brief bit about myself. I'm Andre Novak. I've been a Edina resident most of my 27 years. I have some involvement in the local political scene. I'm a third-year law student at the William Mitchell College of Law. Graduated in just 1 month. And I got to know the legislators a little bit. I know they're all hard at work at the Capitol, so thank you for taking your time on your busy schedules to be here. And of course, thank you for asking me to moderate. Again, the agenda is pretty simple. I'm going to ask for opening remarks from the legislators. We'll go through the question and answer portion, and then at the end I will ask them to just give some brief closing remarks. So pretty simple. On the note of questions, just so you know, you were all asked to make sure to put your name and address on your question card. To be fair, I'm going to give preference to people who actually did put their name and address on the cards first.
We
so
were
if you
told
do,
address.
So I will give preference to people who have names on their cards. And then if we're able to get through those, then I will start punching in the other one. We're going to run until just before this. So we're going to try to also keep the legislators moving on the questions. Sorry. So let's just start with opening remarks, and Ron, if you'd like to go first.
I'm Ron Erhardt. I represent 49A, which is most of the city of Edina. And I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce staff that are here because they're taking part of their Saturdays to come here and help us out. And this is my legislative aide, Lily. If you stand up, you have to stand up so they can see you. What about a keg of dynamite? Well, she's at least a stick. She gets going. Then we have Sarah over here, who is then we have the lovely blue-eyed blonde over here is Jamie, and she's the I call her the enforcer because she's in charge of keeping the freshmen in line. And I'm considered a freshman because I was gone for a few years. Now, I don't have anybody to tell me I need to get a haircut since my campaign chair went away for a couple of months. Arthur Fletcher used to tell me that. A couple of weeks ago, he told me go get a haircut.
Yay.
And I did. Okay. I went out. Don't take that off the time. Listen, I wanted to tell you that I sent out a questionnaire. There are more out here. We don't really have all of the questionnaire, but there were 2 of them that we tabulated. We have another 200 we haven't tabulated, but I'm going to quickly tell you the answers that we've gotten back in percentages. Minnesota faced a shortfall of $1.48 billion, and that's structural. That's 627 and 854 that we owe to schools. And here's what the voters said that answered this. Cut spending, 47% of them. Raise taxes, 10%. Cut state spending and raise taxes, 38%. And other, I can't tell you what that is, 5%. If you support raising taxes to balance the budget, which tax would you prefer be raised? Income taxes, 30%. Property taxes, 2%. Sales taxes, 51%. And other, 17%. What do you believe is the best solution to traffic congestion in the Southwest metro area? More highway capacity, 30%. More transit options, 29%. Both more highway capacity and transit options, 31%. Other, 10%. Governor Dayton is proposing an investment of $640 million in education. What areas of Minnesota's public education should be improved? Early childhood, 21%. K-12 education, 34%. Higher education, 13%. Vocational ed, 20%. Other, 13%. Consider the following issues. Which should be the legislators' top priority this session? 9% increased K-12 education funding, 6% increased funding for transportation, 22% cutting taxes, 31% eliminating the state's $1.4 billion shortfall, 23% job creation, 9% others. Should new gun legislation include background checks for all voters? Yes, 80%, no, 20%. And last question, how do you receive your legislative news? 3% from social media such as Facebook or Twitter, 29% radio, 17% Sun Current, 33% Star Tribune, 18% others. And I really ask you to fill out a questionnaire and turn it in before the leave. There's a pile of them out there. We've got about 400 returns, and normally I get about 12. Now, next is our senator.
I'll keep it brief. Melisa Franzen, State Senator for District 29, all of Edina, West Bloomington, and then a portion of Eden Prairie, Minnetonka, east of 494. Thank you for taking time on Saturday to come over. I thought it was supposed to be spring, but it looks like we're still in winter. But it's been very, very busy at the Capitol. We're supposed to be starting to meet Saturdays and Sundays now in session, so we had kind of a doubt that we would even be here. I was scheduled to be in committee. I do serve on the HHS, Health and Human Services Finance Division, on transportation and public safety, and on education policy. So I have more in-depth knowledge in those areas because that's where I've been focusing most of my time. But of course, I'll expect questions from all across the board. So please feel free to ask questions, and I'm looking forward to a dialogue here.
My name is Paul Rosenthal, and I represent District 49B, which is southern Edina, western Bloomington, and portions of Minnetonka and the Prairie. I thank you as well for coming out today. Things are very busy at the Capitol. We are wrapping up our funding bills. I still run the Higher Ed Committee, the Public Safety Finance Committee, Transportation Committee, and we're busy. And we're about to transition onto the floor. And I'm just here to listen to what you have to say and answer questions, and thank you for coming.
We'll start with a question from John Dahl. Are you in the audience here?
That's probably A-L-T.
Oh, I'm sorry, John D. Alt. My apologies. Do you want to ask your question, or would you like me to ask it for you?
Why don't you ask it? Do they got it covered?
Okay. The question is, a bonding bill this year, didn't we have one last year? Why not?
I'll start with thank you for the question. I'll start with my perspective on that. I know last year there was a lot of concern that the bonding bill wasn't big enough to really take into consideration the needs for our state, infrastructure needs particularly. And interest rates are still ultimate low, so it's a good time to continue to invest in bonding, in my opinion. So this year, some of the projects that didn't happen last year, which should have, in my opinion, is Southwest Light Rail. I have 2 bonding bills for that, either partially funding it or completely funding it, so we can move on with that project and other projects that need to be funded long-term for the benefit of the state. So that's one. I know that the governor, the Senate, and the House have different opinions of how big the bonding bill should be this year. So there's no real set amount or even any certainty that a bonding bill will happen, but one of the arguments is that the last year wasn't big enough, and some of the big projects, in my opinion, like Southwest Light Rail, weren't part of that bonding bill, and interest rates are an ultimate still pretty low, so it's still a pretty good investment for our state to fund some of these projects.
And I totally agree with Senator Franzen. I think bonding now makes a lot of sense.
Can you speak up, please?
Yes, I think bonding now makes a lot of sense. As she said, interest rates are at historic lows. I hope they're never this low again. Our infrastructure is falling apart, and we need to take care of it. And if we don't do it now, it'll be more expensive later. So I think making those investments is the smart thing to do, the right thing to do, and in the end will benefit all of us.